Okay, welcome to the second part of our discussion on the data of macroeconomics. So, as I've said in the previous part, the outline of our discussion is all about GDP, real versus nominal GDP. What is the difference and which is better? And chain-weighted measures of GDP levels versus growth, seasonal adjustment, components of GDP, and alternative measures of GDP such as GNP and beyond GDP. Ayun. So again, GDP class refers to the market value of the final goods and services produced within an economy over a certain period. So, hindi natin i-include ang intermediate goods and services, yung mga unpaid household services, etc. na nabanggit natin sa previous part. Okay, it can be computed by summing up the value added of all firms in the economy and all goods and services currently produced are counted. So, yung adding, if you can remember, yung adding apples and oranges, meron tayong formula na price times quantity. Okay? So, when we use this, ang kinocompute natin ay actually your nominal GDP. So, yung nominal GDP is the sum of the quantity of final goods and services times their current price. Okay, so mataas na nominal GDP can be a result of mataas yung quantity, mataas yung price, or both. Okay, so ang goal natin is to measure production and its change over time. Okay, kaya ibig sabihin, hindi sapat yung nominal GDP kasi ang ginagamit natin is yung current price. So, ang more appropriate to use instead of nominal GDP is your real GDP. Ito naman is the sum of the quantity of final goods and services which is constant, not current prices. This is computed using prices of a specific year known as the base year. Okay. So basically, um, uh, itong mga GDP, kino-compute natin siya to 2018 prices. So you hope you have written that in your prob sets kasi nag-change lang siya recently right now. 2018 na yung base price na ginagamit natin. Okay, kasi GDP is always increasing, right? So ibig sabihin nun kapag mataas yung price, it doesn't mean na mataas yung GDP. Nagas ba? Kasi constantly na tumataas naman yung price. So, how do we compute now for the real GDP? Okay, so pag ang ginamit natin dito is 2019 prices, for this example, imbis na for nominal GDP, ang gagamitin natin is 10 times 20, 200,000, 12 times 24, 288,000, 13 times 26, 338,000. Pag real GDP ang gagamitin natin, ang base year natin is 2019, ang gagamitin natin na quantity is 10, ang price natin is 24, kaya siya naging 240. So for 2019, same pa rin since siya nga yung base year, pero for real GDP, okay, 10 ay 13 times 24. Ayan, sorry, ano lang dito, nagkamali lang, typographical error. Ayan, so ang gagamitin natin dito is 13 times 24,000, hindi siya 338, right? It's 312,000. Okay, so ayun. Ang gagamitin yung price is yung base year natin for that instance. So, in everything sa GDP 2018 base year, ginagamit natin for the Philippines. So, 300K ito, not 338. Ayan. So, I hope you have noticed that na mali yung sa slide. Okay. So, this is the Philippine GDP for the past years from 1946 to 2020. Okay. So, as you can see, pataas yung GDP natin pero nagkaroon actually ng recession because of, as you know, it's the COVID-19. So, I think nakabawi naman na tayo from 2020 pero makikita nyo in your prop set when you look at the GDP is yun na, bumaba tayo bumaba yung GDP natin for 2020 kasi nagkaroon ng recession that time. So, we have what we call yung chain-weighted measures of real GDP natin. Traditionally, real GDP is computed as if the prices used to compute, it never changed from the base year values. So, change base year from time to time. Kaya nga, recently nga lang nag-change yung 2018 base year. And weighted measures of real GDP, the base year changes continuously over time. So, ang benefits ng chain weighting is ensures that prices used to compute real GDP are never out of date. So, if you are interested, meron tayong link dito for chain linking of real gross domestic product. Okay. GDP at purchasing power parity. How do we compare GDP across nations with different currencies and standard of living? So, meron tayong tinatawag na market exchange rate, right? So, as a purchasing power parity, we know that we are well off. Okay, kapag nagkakaroon ng currency natin is 1:1. But with the exchange rate now na parang 58.99 yung recent kong nakita, road to 60 pesos na exchange rate ng peso to dollar. Ibig sabihin nun, masyadong mababa yung value ng dollar natin kasi nga ang goal natin is 1:1. So, kino-compute natin yung GDP natin na um, based on the market exchange rate. Ayan. So, use purchasing power parity exchange rate at which the currency of one country would have to be converted into that of another country to buy the same amount of goods and services in each of the country. So basically, yung $1 nila, kailangan nating magbigay ng 60 pesos to buy that. Diba? So ibig sabihin nun, yun nga, sobrang baba ng value talaga. So, nabanggit ko na to before, pero actually kanina lang, nag-text yung nanay ko sa akin. Parang nagbigay kasi ata siya ng $20 yata. $20 ba? Yun, $20 nung last year ata, birthday ko, ganyan. So, tinanong niya ako, nabigla siyang nag-chat out of nowhere. Sabi niya, uy, ang laki na ng value ng dollar. Pinalit mo na ba? Sabi niya sa akin. Sabi ko, ay, hindi pa. Pero kasi, mataas naman yung mga prices. Di ba? Ang taas naman ng mga bilihin, di ba? So, parang useless lang siya. So, if you would ask kung yung mga OFW ba ay natutuwa na ang laki talaga ng exchange rate, like magpapadala sila dito, ganyan, malaki yung value yung pag pinalit mo siya, malaki yung value. Siguro masaya sila, pero in reality, kahit malaki yung exchange niya, pagdating dito, yung mga padalhan nila, is konti lang din yung mabibili nila kasi nga mataas yung mga bilihin. So, I think it's not really beneficial talaga for everyone. Hindi ko alam kung na-realize nila yun. Okay, pero yun nga, ang taas talaga ng value ng dollar ngayon. Okay. So, ito yung explain ko kanina na this would imply that PPP exchange rate of £1 to US dollars, which may be well different from the prevailing financial market exchange rate. Ayan, so GDP at PPP is typically used in comparing GDP across countries. So you can search for this, yung GDP at PPP are purchasing power parity. Okay, so meron din tayong tinatawag na seasonal adjustment. It can be, GDP is measured on a quarterly basis. So measures of national income can exhibit a regular seasonal pattern. So when doing empirical work, we want to eliminate the portion due to predictable seasonal changes. So nag-adjust din naman talaga depende sa season. So most economic statistics are seasonally adjusted or adjusted to remove seasonal fluctuations. Okay. So base year 2018, ano ba to? X11 method was used to remove seasonality. Okay. X11 ba ito? Anyway. So, yung tinatawag naman natin GDP per capita class is the ratio of real GDP to the population of the country. And gives us the average standard of living of a country. So, GDP per capita, GDP over the total population. So, tinitingnan natin yung standard of living per person, di ba? Kaya siya per capita. Okay. Growth versus level. And GDP growth, rate of growth of real GDP. So meron tayong tinatawag na expansion and depression. Expansion is the periods of positive GDP growth rate and depression, periods of negative GDP growth rate. Okay. So, application natin is reading headlines. Ito rin yung goal ko la actually. Kaya meron tayong mga article presentations which we will have next week. Hopefully, mas marami tayong maintindihan din doon with the current events. So, this is an example of 2021 news. So, we will have an updated ones with your article presentation and of course from your prob set. Okay, so growth numbers, PH out of recession as economy grows by 11.8% in quarter 2. So, paano nga ba kinumpute ang growth rate nito? Okay, can you try kung paano siya kinumpute? Ayan. So, at first glance, ang akala natin yung GDP ng quarter 2 ay kinumpute natin based on quarter 1. Like yung basis mo ng time zero mo is quarter 1. So, for example, sabihin mo 4628.08 minus 4257.72 over 4257.72. Okay, pero hindi ganun siya kino-compute. So, yung 11.8% natin class is year on year. Ibig sabihin nun, ang base natin ay yung same quarter of the previous year. So, for this case, yung basis natin ng 11.8% ay yung quarter 2 ng 2020. Diba? So, try nyo yun. 4628.08 minus 4139.25 over 4139.25, lalabas yung 11.8%. Okay. So, yung national income identity, this is actually the core. Feeling ko nga sa macroeconomics ko, pag alam ko to, alam ko na rin yung macroeconomics just because the macroeconomics revolves in the national income identity. Yung GDP natin class or Y kaya siya output, okay, is C plus I plus G plus NX. Okay, although i-discuss naman natin siya next chapter, pero you should know that ang GDP natin is kinukompute, number 1, consumer expenditures or consumption, I is investment, G is government expenditures, and NX is net exports. Yung net exports natin class is nakukuha natin from subtracting imports and exports. So, ibig sabihin nun, pag mas mataas, kunyari, mataas ang exports at mababa yung imports, syempre positive itong net exports natin. Okay, so ibig sabihin, pag mas mababa yung in-import natin kaysa in-export natin, magiging negative ito. So, ibig sabihin, para siyang bumabawas sa GDP natin. Okay, so tandaan nyo lang ito. Feeling ko you'll go a long way pag alam nyo ito. So, based from your, diba, your pre-test, yung C natin or consumption is the highest component of your GDP. Okay? Consumer expenditures or your consumption. So, consumption is the value of all goods and services bought by households and includes your durable goods, non-durable goods, and services. So kahit sa marketing, ang tawag dito is your consumer goods. So, durable goods are goods that last for a long time. Okay, yung non-durable goods is magagamit mo lang for 1 to 2 uses, 3 uses, ganyan. Okay. At the same time is yung services, these are your intangible part of your consumer goods. So household expenditure on the final goods and services, and it's also the expenditure for the direct satisfaction of human wants and needs. Okay. So the second component of your national income identity or component of your GDP is your investment. This refers to the physical stock of capital. Okay, so ibig sabihin nun, pag nagkakaroon ng mga buildings, inaayos yung mga roads, etc., hindi pala, sa government, pwedeng mag-consider yun yung government expenditure. Pero this one, kapag mga business fixed investment, residential investment, inventory investment, okay, pag nag-invest yung ibang countries, sa atin, tumataas ito. So, ibig sabihin nun, number one, ito, manonotice ninyo, kapag nasa recession tayo, di ba, hesitant yung mga tao na mag-spend. Okay? Siyempre nga din, dahil nga recession, akala natin dapat tayong mag-save. Pero, para ma-boost natin yung economy natin, actually, mas kailangan nating mag-spend. Kasi nga, based on the formula, pag tumataas yung consumption ng mga tao, tatas rin yung GDP. Okay, second, para mapataas yung GDP, kailangan may mag-invest sa atin. Okay, mag-invest yung mga local investors or even foreign investors. Kaya nga, um, ang goal natin lagi is attract yung mga investors sa Philippines. Ayun. So, alam niyo na, kung mababa yung mga investment natin, ganyan, mababa rin yung GDP. So, ang example natin is business fixed investment spending on plant and equipment, residential fixed investment, spending by consumers and landlords on housing units, kasama rin yan. Inventory investment is changing the value of all firms' inventories. Okay. So, exercise, identify what is total investment in each scenario. Yan. So, last year pa pala to, favorite ko to yung hometown cha-cha-cha. Yan, sa mga nakikita mo dyan. Agent buys herself a previously owned building. Bullshit builds himself a brand new guest house. Ayan. What is the total investment in each scenario? Ayan. Please write your answers in the comment box. Okay. Gates buys 5 million in IBM stock from Buffett. Okay, Buffett. Siyempre, alam Buffett. On NYSE, GM sells 10 million in stock to public and uses the proceeds to build a new car factory. Okay. So, basically, identify natin yung total investment dyan kapag meron tayong amount din na ini-estate. Okay. Since wala naman, ayan, makikita na lang natin dito yung mga examples in the next slides. Okay. Next is yung government purchases natin. Ayan, yung government expenditures na sinasabi ko kanina is yung pag nag-spend sila sa mga government projects, ganyan, tumataas rin naman yung GDP natin. Ayan. So, while I'm recording this, sobrang lakas ng ulan. So, hopefully, narinig niyo pa rin ako. Ayan, so it's different from government transfers. Government transfers are payments that are made to people without they're providing a current service. So hindi siya parehas sa such as yung 4Bs, ayuda, mga ganun. Government transfers are accounted as part of GDP because transfers are not part of production. Okay, and the last component natin is yung net exports. Exports minus imports. So basic concept nito, ang exports class, ito yung mga tayo ang nagbebenta sa ibang countries. Yung imports ay tayo ang kumukuha, okay, or bumibili sa ibang countries. So, ibig sabihin nun, mataas ang net exports kapag mas mataas yung exports sa imports, and mataas or mababa ang net exports or magiging negative siya, in short, kapag mas mataas yung import kaysa export. Okay. So this is the Philippine macroeconomics equation natin. So 2016 to 2020. So hopefully sa inyong prob set mapakita ninyo yung breakdown for GDP. Diba? Bibigyan ka ng plus points kapag mapapakita nyo yung mga exact amounts of each of the components of national income identity. Ayan. Palatandaan niya na nakikinig kayo. So ito is part of your prob set, which columns GDP and how much does GDP rise in each of the following scenarios. So hopefully ginagawa niyo ng inyong mga prob set. Okay. Other measures of national income. Ito, feeling ko marami nalilito sa atin kung anong pagkakaiba ng GDP at GNP and which is better. Okay. I think nakalagay din ba yun sa prob set? So, alam niyo class, tuturuan ko kayo yung easiest way. Ay, ilagay nyo ito sa notes ninyo and you can share this takeaway when we meet na ang pagkakaiba ng GDP at GNP ay ang GDP ang is gawa dito sa Pilipinas. Okay, at ang GNP ay gawa ng mga Pilipino. Okay, so ibig sabihin, yung GDP class, di ba parang in-emphasize ko yun sa definition natin, gawa dito sa Pilipinas, even the foreigners na mayroong mga investment dito, ikinakount natin as GDP. Okay, pero kapag GNP naman is gawa ng Pilipinas, okay, even yung, or gawa ng mga Pilipino rather, is yung mga Pilipino na work sa abroad, ganyan, kung ano yung mga income nila, sinasama natin doon sa gross national product. Okay, kaya nga GNP is GDP plus net factor payments, payments from abroad, ayan, or factor payments to abroad. So, GDP measures the total income earned by nationals or residents of the nation, kaya siya gawa ng mga Pilipino. So, ibig sabihin pag GNP, um, yun nga, pag yung mga income ng mga nasa abroad, kasama siya sa GNP. Okay, pag GDP naman is kahit yung mga foreigners na nag-work dito, ganyan, kasama sila sa GDP. So another one is net national product. The formula for this is GNP minus depreciation. Okay. Ang depreciation class, although nabanggit ko kanina, pero hindi ko yata nabanggit yung definition niya. Yung depreciation is the normal wear and tear. Like for example, meron kang TV, binili mo siya ng 20,000 noong 2015. Okay, pagdating ng 2020, hindi na 20,000 yung ano yan, yung value niya. Kasi naluma na siya. Yun yung pagluluma is called your depreciation. So national income accounting depreciation is synonymous to the consumption of fixed capital. Okay. So national income is equal to net national product minus statistical discrepancy. So corrections made in the calculation of national accounts due to data inconsistencies. So it measures how much everyone in the economy earned. Ayan. So such as compensation of employees, proprietor's income, rental income, corporate profits, net interest, taxes on production, and imports. Okay, I think nasa browser din to, pero you need to learn how to compute for national income. So national income can be derived after adjusting national income to consider taxes and other transfers. Is the amount that households and non-corporate businesses receive. So this is the formula. Okay, meron tayong tinatawag na disposable personal income. Okay, ito yung natitira kapag na-subtract na yung income taxes or personal taxes natin. Okay, so disposable income is equal to personal income minus personal taxes. Okay, beyond GDP, ayan. GDP does not show inequality and poverty. It does not account environmental sustainability and fails to account housework. Okay, so for example, part of GDP, pie from the local bakery, and not part of the GDP is the pie prepared by your sibling for the consumption of members of your household. Okay, so yun lang naman for this part. Mayroon pa tayong isang part, pero this one is a little bit different. Feeling ko mas interesado kayo dito. It's all about your unemployment and inflation rate. Okay, I'll see you in the last part. Ayan, mag-rest muna kayo before you proceed with then the third and the last part of our discussion for data of macroeconomics. I'll see you.